Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me for another video for this month's Patreon. So this time round, I thought I would talk about my all-time absolute favourite sacred sites in Cornwall and the ways that I work with them and how they can help you and what kind of aspects of your life the energies there can help you with. Okay, so this is in no particular order. This is not like a top 5 down to 1. This is just as they come to me. So Land's End is my first one. Now, this is controversial. I don't mean like the tourist trap Land's End. I just mean that part of the world. So for me, Land's End, I do park at like the tourist trap because all that money goes towards like conservation of the natural area because the owner actually owns quite a lot of the land there. It's not just the hotel and all that. But yeah, so I park there, and my favourite way to go is, say you're facing the tourist trap, so the car park's behind you and you're facing the touristy bit. If you go left down towards the farm, but like just keep going, keep chugging on, and you get to this absolute moorland cliff top wildish beauty place, and it's amazing. If you've never been, my words will not do it justice. I can try all I want, but it just won't. It is that beautiful and that spectacular. Now, this is the place, believed to be the place, I believe it's the place, where the sunken lost lands of Lioness reside. And this was where the myth of like Tristan and Isolde came from, that they were, housed there before it sank, supposedly. And it is a beautiful, beautiful piece of land. There's a whole bit, I think about almost like a half-hour's walk after you get past the farm at Land's End. There's this beautiful, like, craggy bit of land just off the coast path, the southwest coastal path, towards the sea. So go, what's that way? Right. And there's a moment where you walk through this portal of ancient energy, and you can feel it pulsing, you can feel its aura. It is spectacular. And I love connecting to the lost lands of Lioness there, because it's, as a priestess of Cornwall and just somebody who has a strong connection to this land, I think it's very important to honour what was and the energies that came from there and still comes from there. It's not like the physicality is lost, therefore the energy is lost. It's just the physical that isn't there. But that makes it all the more mystical, and I love it. So this is a really great place to connect in with like the myths, mysteries and magic of this land. So, if you wanted to, I mean, obviously, if you want to like King Arthur myths, go to Tintagel, spot on. But the ones, if you want to tap into that liminal space of not quite knowing outwardly, but inwardly knowing, this is a fantastic place to do that. The place that I'm talking about, the craggy bit of rocks with like the portals and all that, that's quite secluded. It's one of those magical places that even though there is a path right next to it, kind of right next to it, nobody seems to go there. So you can be on your own, just chilling there. When I'm down that end of Cornwall and it's the right time of month for me, I will do like a blood returning ritual there, but very like away from where anybody would ever go, because I just don't think that's hygienic otherwise. But yeah, like pour it down into the ocean, and it really just helps to connect to the feminine energies of water that obviously surround this bit of land. Fourway's got the Tamar as well, and it makes me speechless every time working with that bit of land and the energy from Lioness there. It's profound is the best way I can use it. So if you wanted to go and work with the energies of the lost, the energies of the unknown yet the innately known, go there. Go and connect with the rocks. That's always, for those of you who ask me like, oh, how do I connect with this spirit or this energy or do this or do that? If you don't know straight away, my best piece of advice is to start with the physical. Use your human body, because this is a tool to get to connect to the divine. So, like connect to the rocks there, watch the ocean, watch the clouds, listen to the birds, listen to the crickets, anything that gets you into that relaxed state, and then the rest will actually come quite naturally to you. but I understand getting into that relaxed state is quite hard in this day and age for some people, most people. But yeah, so that's what Land's End is wonderful for. My next favourite is going to be the Merry Maidens. So that's again kind of down that end of Cornwall, down West Cornwall. And I feel like it's not very well known, but also extremely well known in some circles. But Merry Maidens is sentimental to me. So this was when me and my family would come down on holiday when I was a kid. We'd always go to the Merry Maidens, no matter where we could have been staying in like Bodmin, but we'd make the trip down to Merry Maidens. So it's like my family stone circle, if you like. It's what it reminds me of. And it was, me and my dad have like a rocky past, as it were. But the only one of my absolute favourite memories of my dad growing up was the first time, or my first memory of being in a Merry Maidens. Although I'd been so many times before, but my first real memory was there's like a grassy kind of bank or knoll just like off to the side. And me and my dad were chilling there, and it was the time of the Walkman. Aging myself here, it was the Walkman era. And he had his earphones in and was listening to something. He was a proper like rocker, like he was part of like went to all the rock band gigs in the 70s and had this awesome leather jacket with all the patches on, but that's irrelevant. This was so like I knew his type of music, and it's always interested me. I've always been a bit of a rocker at heart. And I can't remember the conversation or anything that led to it, but I remember him putting the earphones on me, and it was the first time I'd ever heard Led Zeppelin, and it just so happened to be Staircase to Heaven. And oh my God, the magic that comes out of Robert Plant's mouth it would be obscene if it wasn't so beautiful. Like it is absolute, it makes me tingle every time. And being on that ley line, St. Michael's Mount ley line, being there, listening to Robert Plant in my ears, listening to Led Zeppelin, like John Bonham, everything, it was just so moving. Like my little like toddler body just adored everything about that. I still do. It's one of my most precious memories, period. And I always now connect with Merry Maidens when I want to work with that like a joyful kind of energy that hopefully, you know what I mean, if you like Led Zeppelin, and I'm sure you've all heard Staircase to Heaven, but if the place that song takes you to, imagine that on a ley line when you're like 3 years old. It's that sense of utter sheer magic, experiencing magic in the physical. It's not some like, oh, I think I saw a fairy. It's magic's happening right here, right now, and I'm bearing witness to it, and isn't it so full of joy? It's that feeling, and Merry Maidens is perfect for that. If you're feeling very like sluggish in yourself, or a bit down, whether, you know, whatever end of the spectrum of feeling a bit down you're on, it's a wonderful place to go and do like deep restorative work on your emotional systems, your emotional body, health, etheric field, everything. It just neutralizes all negativity. It's like zaps it out. There cannot be any negativity at the Merry Maidens, and it's beautiful for that. So yeah, go to the Merry Maidens if you want to work with that kind of aspect of yourself. My next favourite is again down West Cornwall, Merlins Hole. This is again a very like significant and personal one for me. But you'll probably, if you haven't been to Merlins Hole, you'll probably recognise it as the like upright stone with a circle in, circular stone, circle cut out through it, and then there's like two other, I mean there's loads of rocks, but there's two other rocks kind of facing it. And this is in Cornish folklore and Cornish history. This is where new mothers, new fathers would take their babies and pass them through the stone circle, and then they'd be blessed for life with health and good fortune and good luck and all the lovely stuff that you want for your babies. So this was done for every member of my family, as far as I'm aware, like my mum's side anyway. And that's nice that we've got like that family tradition, that little like go-to place there for, what is it? It's not a baby naming ceremony, but it could easily be. But oh God, I'd love to do a baby naming ceremony there. If any of you want to hire me for baby naming ceremony at Merlins Hole, please do, please. But with that being said, like the passing the child through the stone there, it's a comforting place. It really is. When my familiar Arthur, when he passed in, God, nearly a year ago now, when he passed, we took him to a crematorium that was up in Penzance, and I didn't feel, he was going to say he was going to be cremated at like 11 o'clock in the morning or something. We dropped him off at 9, and I didn't feel right not being in that part of Cornwall with him as he was being cremated. So me and my partner drove up to Merlins Cave, which is like a 20-minute drive away from the crematorium, and we just grieved there because he was such a special soul. And just going there, and it was a misty day, that kind of like moorland mist that you get down that end of Cornwall, and there was nobody there but me and my partner and like the spirit of Arthur, my familiar. And it was just so magical, just being able to, like, I think I described it as like being able to ground my grief, like, you know, not having it be so uncatchable and unknowable, just being able to feel it for all it was, and then put it in the earth, put it in the stones, and know that it was all okay and it was all going to be fine. That was a really special moment. So it is a very comforting place. So I like to go there for inner child work for obvious reasons, but with, you know, children being blessed there on the daily pretty much, but it being a place of comfort. Imagine if Cornwall had a hearth flame, that kind of like warming, heartful centre. I think it would be Merlins Cave. It's definitely that kind of like contentment, comfort, coming home, feeling safe kind of energy. So if you have any inner child work to do, which I'm sure we all do, that's a wonderful place to go and do it and be safe and know that you're safe, because that is the the heartful home of this land. And it's just so serene every time, even when people are having like passing the baby through the thing, it's always serene and lovely. It's never like, ooh, a big wild booze up, which is good. But it's so sweet. So my next favourite place, I think I've got 2 more. Yeah, let's do 2 more. My next favourite place is Merlins Cave in Tintagel on the north coast. If you have ever been there, you just know. You can skip on ahead because you know what it's all about. But for those that don't, Merlin's Cave you can get there for free, but it's directly underneath the ruins of Tintagel Castle. So if you go down to that little beachy thing, it's just on the, if you come down the cliff, then it's just on the left-hand side there. It's just, I know there's lots of caves in Cornwall, and I know each of them are wonderful and sacred in their own way, but there's a different kind of energy from Merlin's. You feel like he could very well just be hiding behind a rock, just chilling for all these centuries, for all these thousands of years. He's done nothing but chill there and weaves people's fates and destinies just with his staff in his mind. And it's a fantastic place for you to connect with spiritual wisdom. So whether that's, you have one question in particular that you just want an answer to and don't know where to get it from, go and hang out in Merlin's Cave for a bit, go and meditate, go and give offerings, go and do whatever suits you, whatever gets you there. Go and seek the answers and you will find them in Merlin's Cave. It's essentially like, for those of you that scry, it's like a big scrying bowl or mirror that you can venture into, and the answers will come to you there. And it's a deep place for doing oracle work, for doing divination work. I mean, I'm not a medium of any kind, so I'm not sure about mediumship kind of work, but by all means, give it a go if it feels safe and right for you to do so. I would imagine it would be pretty immense there. But yeah, and also connecting with the wisdom and the focus of Merlin as well. If Merlin is one of your, on your spirit team, as it were, or if you like to work with him quite a lot, you will feel his essence and his energy there and be able to work with him in a lot deeper and a lot more kind of a concise kind of way there, if that makes sense. It will be, just a quicker kind of connection there, but on a deeper level. And it's incredible. I honestly just go there and just have a nap and just let my dreams give me answers that I need, or give me insights into parts of my life that I've, been neglecting or whatever. Oh, it's just, if you can feel safe enough to have a nap there, I honestly encourage it so much to go and have like a little dream. It's amazing. Yeah, so nice. So my last and final place, like favourite sacred site. Now do bear in mind, every single sacred site in Cornwall is my favourite sacred site when I'm there. Like I love them all so much, but these are just like, if I could only pick a certain amount, it would be from this list. So final one is Helmands Tour. This site is so underrated, and I'm glad because it keeps it quiet. Oh, the energy is incredible. So this is it's like St Austell Way really, where I'm based, kind of near the Eden Project, and it's big old craggy tour. Just, you know, those rocks that don't seem like they should be able to balance on top of each other, but they've been there since like the Ice Age, and they're still there. This place is incredible. You can see out throughout the whole landscape. You can see Bodmin, you can see St Austell, you can see Roach Rock, for those of you that know what that is. You can see that little like Hermit's rock there, Hermit's Chapel. And I like to use this place to connect with my priestess ancestors of this land. So the priestesses that came before me, like deep, deep ancient Celtic times, this was their powerhouse. This was where they worked from, I believe, or, you know, partly worked from at least. And there's a stone there that's almost carved out like a throne, and oh, I love to just sit there and take my notebook and write, or just again have a nap. I have a thing for napping on rocks. I think it's just so I can dream and meditate in like a deeper way there, but anyway, I have a thing for napping in public places at sacred sites. But yeah, so I like to nap, you might like to meditate, or whatever you fancy. Yeah, I just get my notebook out and write in the wisdom that I can hear, because it's always so windy, or usually so windy up there because it's a tour. You can hear the whispers of the ancient priestesses, and on the wind you can hear the bird song, the songs that they used to sing in ceremony. It is a beautiful, deeply spiritual place. And I'm sure I'm the only one that thinks this at the moment, and that's absolutely fine, because it's just me doing my ceremonies up there, just chilling, which is nice. But so at the moment we've got a group of 3 women who are training, or the first people to be training to become priestesses of Cornwall with me, and they will dedicate on May 1st next year, and their ceremony will be at Helmands Tour, because I believe that's where priestesses of yore, of this ancient land, were dedicated, were made priestesses. That's where they would be initiated, and it's going to be amazing. I can't wait for those priestesses that are watching it, or priestesses to be that are watching this. You guys don't know what you're in for. It's going to be so beautiful and incredible. And it's, oh, I just get good shivers thinking about that place. It's, if you can go, do. It is so peaceful isn't the right word. It's that kind of spiritual stillness that I hope you all know what I'm talking about there. That sense of yeah, everything being so right and so perfect that it's still. If that makes sense. Those of you that have experienced it, I'm sure it makes sense to you. And that, for now, I think will conclude all my favourite sacred sites and what they, what energies that they work best with. Also, disclaimer, please, if you visit these sacred sites, or any sacred sites, or anywhere in nature, only take offerings that are of that place. So by that I mean, don't, take sunflower seeds if they aren't naturally found in that area. Also, don't take any plastic glitters, and if you're going to leave food offerings like cacao, for example, don't leave a lot of it, because an animal could come along and eat too much cacao and it would just not be good. Also, respect the area, treat it as a sacred site that it is, and thank the land, and don't take anything without asking. So, if you see like an awesome, branch that could be a beautiful wand, ask and make sure that it's already fallen, or ask whether you can, hopefully the drill, like you are well versed enough in the spiritual world to treat things with respect and compassion. So I'm trusting you. But yeah, so that finally concludes our video for this month. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's given you some ideas of where to go when you're next down here on your next day off. All right. Blessed be you guys. Bye.